conference semifinals on the agenda for today. We're here finally 2 weeks after the fact. I feel like it's been forever. Longest international break of all time. But we're now back. It's been, I don't even know how long since teams like LA Galaxy might have played, but they got to get warmed up, ready to go for this conference semifinal matchup they have coming up, along with a few others. As usual, guys, I'm joined by the usual suspects. I'll bring them up now. We got a great crew, and I think I lost one of them along the way, but that's okay. We got Mo Football, we got Hector from Insert Name FC, and we got Davi from the Blue Burrows Pod. Hitman Honda will also be joining us momentarily. Probably have some technical issues, but we'll get him back in here and underway. Because, guys, today, I already alluded to it in the intro, we have conference semifinals, some matchups that some of us predicted, some of us didn't foresee. Although your boy, I think, went perfect in the last round. You know, not to brag too much, we went perfect in the last round with our predictions, including Miami getting eliminated. So let's keep the good times rolling, man. Let's keep it rolling. We'll talk the Hudson River Derby first. Let's jump right into it. Waste no more time. Davi, it's all on you, bro. This is a crazy game. Biggest Hudson River Derby probably ever. I don't think these two teams have ever matched up against one another this deep into the postseason before, right? Essentially a quarterfinal.
First time.
So first time, man. First time. And two interesting, I'll give my prediction, but just my take of it all. It's an interesting time for these two teams to play. Because I don't know how you guys feel about both of these New York sides, or try to call one Jersey, one New York, whatever. One has been much more consistent. I think the other one in the Red Bulls hasn't been as consistent, but I feel like their ceiling is higher. I don't know what it is. It could be the Forsberg effect. I'm not really sure. But Davi, we'll go to you first, man. How do you feel about your side coming into this?
No, I feel confident. I said before the playoffs, I wouldn't mind playing Cincinnati because they were a team not going into the playoffs in good form, and I just felt like, with the way we ended the season, coming back after two long months without a win in the league, and then just ripping off a bunch in a row, and just finishing off strong. I felt like we could have them, and they were one of the teams that we beat along the way to get into the playoffs, and I just we felt confident because we've seen it before with NYCFC in 2021 and 2022, where they made deep runs in 2021, winning it all. And then the Red Bulls, they're a team that, everybody thought that they were down and out, and we played them at their place and we completely smacked them around 5-1, including 2 goals in 7 minutes, which is a theme in the recent derbies. NYCFC tends to score the early goal and then they just tend to win out the game. I've seen a lot of people say it's going to be difficult to beat a team 3 times in a year, but
I agree.
It's not impossible. But I think having it at Citi Field, it's going to make a difference. We've never played the Red Bulls in a knockout game at home. We've played them 4 times at Red Bull Arena. We've lost all 4, but that was all in the Open Cup and the Leagues Cup.
Mm-hmm.
The one that really matters, in my opinion, is the playoffs. If you were to ask anyone else, and this is the biggest Hudson River Derby to date, and I'm very excited for it. I'm confident, but as the day comes closer, as I see the stadium lights, I'm going to get nervous because I can't stomach a defeat to these bastards in the playoffs.
I hear that, bro. I think some serious bragging rights are on the line. I think for anyone who's like tuning in to MLS maybe for the first time this year because of the Messi effect and not understanding how big this derby really is, it's huge. It's massive. And like you said, it's regardless of if either of these teams make it to the MLS Cup final or not, it just feels like some real bragging rights in this rivalry are significantly up for grabs. I think if either one of these teams wins, even if they don't go on to win any games after that in this postseason, it's still something that can always hang over the other fan base. It's something you can always bring up, and it's always going to be something that you could just hold over them.
Yeah, we got the cup, we got the stadium, the Etihad Park. It's officially confirmed. It's going to be the name. What a shock, right? And then and then if we beat these guys, they have nothing. They have nothing to say to us at that point. You guys are nothing to us at that point. Might as well fold.
That's fair, bro. That's fair. Out of curiosity, who here outside of Davi has the Red Bulls going through? I want to hear a good argument for someone if they do.
That has the Red Bulls going through?
Yeah. Nobody? Damn, bro, I'm the only one. That's crazy.
No, I mean, I think the like you mentioned it right, like about how that this Red Bull team seems a little different, and I think that we're kind of starting to see that Red Bull team that we saw earlier on in the season. That where we were like, oh shoot, this Red Bull team might be for real. And obviously kind of sizzled out. Maybe there's a correlation with the Forsberg injury,
Yeah.
but I mean, yeah, I think that they're kind of finding their stride. I think they came off with a big confidence boost, beating Columbus Crew. Um, I mean, NYCFC, I think they did a good job against Cincinnati. Like you mentioned, Cincinnati was not necessarily going in the best of form. And I think that's probably the trend of all the higher seeds at this point because they all of them are gone except for we'll mention the other team later. But I think, but yeah, I think Red Bulls. I think they're kind of finding their stride in some sense, kind of looking like that Red Bull team from earlier. So I do favor the Red Bulls to go into it, which I mean, obviously Nick Cushing 50% winning percentage against the Red Bulls. So I mean,
By the way, I think Davi, correct me if I'm wrong. I think I heard him say in a recent interview, I think it was this past week, something along those lines, that he fully expects to be with NYCFC next season. I think that's interesting, right? Like,
I don't know. I mean,
why do you bring that up? Why does he?
I just think it's interesting.
No.
I
mean,
know Davi's pushing for
no,
it.
not you. I'm like, why is he bringing that up? Like,
I think it settles a question, right? Like going into a postseason game, one this big, do you want the question of whether or not your manager is going to be here next year hanging over?
Well, here's the thing. Like, he's the favorite to get the Arsenal women's job, but he can't just go out and say, yeah, I'm leaving it as soon as these guys get knocked out. He just can't say it.
But why would he say, I fully expect to stay? I agree you can't say you're going to join.
PR, it's PR, bro.
But still,
PR
why?
thing.
Yeah, I get it. I don't know, man. To me, I wouldn't be shocked if he was here again next season.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he's here next season, or I wouldn't be shocked if he leaves to go to take the Arsenal job.
That's fair.
I think he already declined it, though.
You never know. I mean,
people. Davi wants this to happen so bad, bro. So
no,
bad.
no. The thing is, it's like you never know. Like a player can stay, like sign a contract extension, and 6 months later, it could be sold to another club.
I don't know. I get the vibe of a child that like the parents like, oh, how was your day? It's like perfectly fine. Just don't go into that one room. Like it's kind of like that kind of vibe where they're like, there's something up, but at the same time, it's like I don't like if I'm the reporter in there, I'm like, I wasn't gonna ask if you were gonna stay or anything. I don't think there was. I think it's safe to assume.
You kind of brought it up out of nowhere. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Honestly, I think he's leaving. I think this could potentially be his last game as NYCFC manager. In which, if this is his last game, then get the fuck out of here. I don't want to see you again.
Wow.
But
look, the one thing I'll say, Davi, the one thing I'll say to kind of retort your argument, not on Cushing. Cushing could stay and like that could be whatever. I think the reason I'm also kind of with Hector going into this game. I think in big matches in this sport in general, right, outside of MLS too, I feel like the X Factor player steps up. It's the same reason Real Madrid have won as many Champions Leagues as they've won, right? Like they have more X Factor players than just about anybody in the world.
But when I think about these guys have no winning legacy though. There's no legacy there.
It's not about legacy. I think in MLS is such a young league. You can't even talk about legacy. Like legacy for most teams, a dynasty for most teams is 3 seasons maybe. Like it's just different with how young and kind of nascent this league is. But if you just think about purely who's on the field and who has the potential to be a game changer, to take this game by the scruff of its neck, I don't know if NYCFC have that player. I think they're a good collection of pretty decent players that at times have played well, have been more consistent than the Red Bulls. But I think the Red Bulls, I think if you get 10 out of 10 of Emil Forsberg, if you get the best version of him tomorrow, it's going to be difficult, I think, for NYC to overcome that. I don't know why. I lean on just those games. Now, if he doesn't show up to play, if we get a mid version of him, then sure, right? It's kind of anybody's game at that point. But I almost back some of these individuals who I think could get their teams over the line in a one-off game.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I've been looking at the previous two like games that the Red Bulls played. They've kind of just written Coronel. Like they've been lucky to not concede a lot, and I feel like you could say for both of these teams they tried to throw away the recent games with that horrible fucking shootout. I have no idea how you fucking make it that long. I don't even know why Max Morales is not even taking that
But dude,
penalty.
but dude, in that shootout, you're talking about with even like the crew and the Red Bulls before the shootout. I mean, Forsberg had a goal and an assist. I wouldn't say they were riding, the keeper. I think it legitimately was. You saw just keeper was a standout, but they also had other standout players.
Cruz also hit the post a couple times.
Yeah,
and sometimes in playoffs the ball bounces your way, sometimes it doesn't. But I mean, if we're gonna talk about like legacy, like this, Red Bulls are the legacy of losing. Like this is the team to lose. Like this is the cursed team. This team will never win a championship. They have that curse over them, and until they win one, I'm not gonna stop reminding them about it. And I'll I'll be quite happy to see them cry if go across the river after we hand them a quite really beautiful loss at City Field.
So
I
so
don't
what happens if the Red Bulls win? Just what happens? What do you do?
I don't want to think about it.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to follow. All right, man. Let's get some picks in. Mo, we haven't heard from you yet, so let's just a prediction for how you think this game goes.
I would say the Red Bull, just for the fact that they have a little bit more swagger since building Columbus. So I kind of give them just a little bit inch of advantage on it. Just to the fact that they beat the champ.
Yeah, it's going to be close. And yeah, they took down the champion. That's a huge indicator that we haven't talked about yet either. I'll side with you as well. I think the Red Bulls should take it. I think it'll be very close. I think NYC will probably score. I just think the Red Bulls have the individual talents to probably get the game over the line. And I'll go back to one point that Davi made too, which was beating a team 3 times in a season in any sport, fucking difficult, super difficult to do. Sometimes it just for that reason alone, playing that many times, things just don't go your way. Or even worse for the neutral fan, the game gets super ugly because these teams just don't even go at each other in the same ways anymore. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Red Bulls, but it'll be very close. Davi, we know who you're getting. No need to explain, brother. We know it's NYCFC. Hector, did you say Red Bulls?
I said Red Bull.
And then Honda.
NYCFC.
NYCFC. All right, we're kind of split here then. It's a very, very close game, man. I'm super excited about this. I'm going to be at a wedding at the time of the game being played, but your boy's still going to be watching. Believe that. Going to have it up on the phone.
I will say this: if the Atlanta result goes in Atlanta's way and we beat the Red Bulls, I think we have a genuine chance at MLS Cup.
Keep the game in front of you, one at a time. One at a time. Davi, say it with me, bro. Red Bulls only. Red Bulls only.
I'm just saying,
if your players are thinking the way you're thinking, this game might already be lost, bro. All right,
I'm just throwing it out there. If we host a conference final, we're going MLS Cup and we might win it.
Cushing fucking in,
we need,
bro.
All right, this is where we need Dark Cushing. We need Dark Cushing. Dark Cushing has us play good, bro.
Yeah,
you get Dark Cushing out there, we're unstoppable.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. Big game ahead. The first one on Saturday. Now, on to the second one, played a few hours even after that first one kicks off. We have LAFC hosting Seattle. And in its own right, man, it's I don't want to say it's going to be a rivalry. It kind of feels like it a little bit.
There's history.
Yeah, there's definitely history here. That's for damn sure. And I think a lot of fans are going into this thinking that LAFC should win. This is one of those games where they absolutely should win. But the bigger question is, does Seattle pose this trap game threat, right? When I say trap game, meaning I'm not saying Seattle's a bad team, but we've all been very aware of their offensive struggles, how much better they are at home versus being on the road. And now they have to travel to BMO to take on the number 1 seed in the West. And I know they're a decently good defensive team. Stephen Fry's played a little bit better. I don't know, man. Do they have enough to keep out Olivier Giroud, Denny Bouanga, Bogusz, all these playmakers that LAFC has?
No. I think if there's one thing if there's one thing to take away from that Houston Dynamo Seattle, which once again I apologize for anybody that had to watch that.
The red cards were interesting. Were interesting.
That was the highlight, which is Coco throwing hands and Hector Herrera spinning away his future with Houston. I love the guy, but I think what we took away from those games was just both teams just does not play well, and I think even Cheyenne has mentioned in his videos, like, what would have happened if those red cards didn't happen? Would the Dynamo have prevailed over them? because Coco was a big loss, but obviously, even when the Dynamo were down a man, they still were very much better in my opinion than Seattle was on the field. And I mean, to score a goal shorthanded, even if own goal despite it all, still, when you have more players on the field, in hindsight, you should be leading them. And I think Seattle, at the end of the day, like, you feel like they just left too much out there that I don't think any Seattle fan should be going in confidently. I mean, if the Dynamo moved on to the next round, wouldn't have felt confidently either. So, I mean, it just goes to show you that was just one ugly series. It was fair enough as an ugly series, but LA, I mean, I'm not saying that, LA shouldn't be in a high horse by all means, because your series was terrible too. I mean, as a matter of fact, the only Western Conference round 1 matchup that went to 3 games was their matchup against Vancouver. And yeah, it was, I think if you're watching those games, it was a bit overwhelming, especially when and I think if you're LAFC, you feel like any team is inferior to you. Well, Vancouver played fairly well against you guys. And I mean, but when it comes to the playoffs, obviously ugly wins. At the end of the day, just win the game. Doesn't matter how you do it, just win the matches. But don't, I don't think you're going to go in like, we're going to cream Seattle. Like, I think Seattle shows that they can play very physical and can play defensively when need be.
Fucking Dobby, bro. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
But I think, but I think LAFC is still very much the better team. I think when it comes to firepower, it's the LAFC side. Seattle, they can't score goal. They're just not a goal scoring team. And I think that LAFC high press is going to be a problem for Seattle.
Guys, who do you start if you're Brian Schmetzer from Seattle? Who do you actually start? Do you start Jordan Morris up top, or do you start Raul Ruiz-Diaz?
Raul Ruiz-Diaz.
Easily?
Raul.
All right, fair enough.
They need a striker up top.
Jomo off the bench.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because I think in the latter half of the season, Morris was someone they could rely upon, right? In those games where Ruiz-Diaz wasn't available, which is, in the playoffs doesn't matter that much because he will be available for this game. And if he were to go down again, like he's always done, I mean, I guess maybe it would affect the next game if they got through, but that won't play a factor. But nonetheless, I don't know. It's just interesting, right? Because I think Morris was, a lot of people shit on him, but I think he wasn't half bad to close out the regular season and get Seattle back up to top 4. So, and look, in this game too, experience has to come into play. But I mean, while Seattle's a very experienced playoff team, LAFC over the last 2+ years, man, almost 3 now, how much experience do they have being in these types of scenarios, big games, cup finals? They may not, they had that losing streak in finals.
They choke them away.
But they get to the final, right? And so, like, by that logic alone, you have to assume they're the favorite. It's just a matter of how long can Seattle keep them out of the back of the net so that they create enough chances on their side to be competitive. I don't know. I'm kind of with Hector a little bit. I think LAFC should be the favorite, but I don't want to just sit here and say that Seattle doesn't have a chance at this. I think that
I just don't see Seattle finding a way to handle the high press. And I think maybe it is Jordan Morris in some sense because of his pace. I mean, I don't think it's the same pace from when he first came into the league, but I mean,
yeah.
I just don't see a pace merchant right now in Seattle to at least be able to defend against that high press that LAFC is going to do. And I mean, we've all experienced that stupid high press at this point. And you got to say props to how LAFC can not only perform that high press fairly well, but at the same time keep up with it, do play almost 90 minutes with that high press and not look exhausted throughout the game.
Yeah. Seattle have not lost a game in 9 consecutive matches. They go into this game with a pretty decent hot streak. With that said, LAFC haven't lost to the Sounders in 10 meetings now. 8 wins and 2 draws. It's been a very one-sided, fixture, I guess you could say, between these two teams. It's at BMO. Let's make some predictions, man. Unless anybody here has a very solid point they want to make for the Sounders, but personally, I'm finding it difficult to disagree with what Hector's saying. So I'm going to go with LAFC. Just kick it off. They should win. These games are slated to go the full 120 before PKs, right? Yeah. So it could be a game where they take it past the 90 and win an extra time. But I think there's no way that this game has a shot at going to penalties, in my opinion. I think at some point you knock on the door enough and it will open, right? So I'm expecting LAFC to get the goals they need to get this one over the line.
I think the only way. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, because I think for me the main question is who on the LAFC side is going to wake up and actually play their game. If it's Bouanga or Giroud is going to be the guy they all expect him to be, or if it will be Seattle's defense will be able to hold, and how long will they be able to hold? I think that's probably the biggest. So like if they're early on start, I think the more as we progress in the game, Seattle's percentage of maybe going through will go up a bit. But if LAFC score 1 or 2 within the first 25 minutes, you might as well just close out the game from there.
Bro, you're 100% right, Mo. Stephen Fry had to make 7 saves against Houston.
That's way
right.
too
And
much.
you think about now going up against that LAFC side, how big he will have to play.
I was gonna say, if Seattle wants to win, that they're gonna have to ride the hand of Stephen Fry. I think Stephen Fry is the only thing that I guess you could say Seattle holds over LAFC is like an experienced goalkeeper in these types of situations, especially in MLS when it comes to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he has a track record of playing really well. I mean, the 2016 final comes to mind. I mean, if they want to win, they're going to have to ride the hand of Stephen Fry and take the 1 or 2 chances and hope the LAFC forget their shooting boots. Other than that, I don't see how Seattle can win this game.
He'll have to go full Brad Guzan, bro. 100%.
Honestly, man, for me, the way I see it, I think Bogusz is the guy that steps up.
Yeah, I can see it.
I think that, and I mean, he came up big. I actually believe he came up big in that Whitecap series as well. So, I mean, you're gonna focus on Bouanga, you're gonna focus on Giroud, but don't miss out on the supporting cast that LAFC has, because they got some players on that field as well.
Yeah, I agree. Honda, I know you don't want to cheer for LAFC, bro. I mean, if you got a solid case for Seattle, I mean, speak now, but I think we're fairly one-sided so far.
I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna stay one-sided. LAF France. FC,
France FC, man. France FC.
Take it easy now. Take it easy.
They just have too many players.
Los Angeles French Club.
Yeah, Los Angeles French Club.
They just got too many players going up. Denny Bouanga on the left, and then Christian Oliveira on the right, literally just lightning down the wings. And then Bouanga again, the one that gets the most shots, he's gonna eventually score.
Yeah.
So
LAFC. And plus, let's be real. You guys want LAFC in the next round, right? Provided that you get past, Minnesota. But you guys want that matchup. I know I want it. I want Atletico in the next round. So we'll see how it goes, man. But it should be LAFC. I'd be very shocked. This would definitely be probably the second biggest upset of the postseason, I think, if Seattle were to walk away with this. It wouldn't be bigger than Atlanta taking down Miami in 3 games, but it wouldn't be far away from that. So
nothing beats it.
Yeah, no, that shit was absolutely crazy. All right, man, we got our predictions in for that one. Speaking of Atlanta, let's bring them up now. We got Orlando hosting Atlanta United. I know AJ and I text about just kind of how his team's been doing. He has no way of knowing how to feel about what his team is doing right now. I think Atlanta United fans are just happy. They're America's team, as Hector said. They're America's team at this moment. Everybody,
we're just all in for the ride that is Atlanta United.
Yeah. We're all in with these young guys. We're all in.
Yeah, all in, bro. I think the thing is like Orlando. I don't know. If I look at the East right now, it's so up for grabs, but Orlando feels like they have to be one of the favorites considering where they were in the postseason last year. Just the hot streak they were on coming into the postseason, salvage top 4. I don't know, man. But they're at home, and for some reason, I just don't back these dudes at home. This is also another derby, by the way, another rivalry, right, between Orlando and Atlanta United. So
wait. Time out. You were saying that now that it's a home game for Orlando, when last year they had a home game against Columbus Crew, and you were doubting Columbus Crew to go into Orlando to beat
I learned, bro. They proved they proved me wrong, and I can't shake that feeling, Hector. I can't shake it, bro. Orlando at home, I cannot trust it. I can't. They coughed up a terrible lead last season, and then this season, it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, they're so much better on the road. I would back this team if they were on the road every single game as a low seed, like Atlanta United is. I would back this team all the way through, like just to come out of the East. I don't know what it is. Parejas, man, just I don't know. They're not as strong at home. Not that they can't win, but I wouldn't be shocked to see Atlanta United give them a real run for their money in Orlando. I don't think it's a crazy thought. But yeah, man, it's hard. It is. I don't know if I want to keep riding this Brad Guzan train though. I don't know if he can do it again. So anyway,
I just want to say I'm amazed, Hector, that you remembered this long what he said about Orlando at home. I just want
me and Xiaoyan almost threw hands over that argument. So it was one of those where he strongly disagreed. We went back and forth. Xiaoyan ended up winning.
Who wins in a fight? You or Xiaoyan?
What's that?
Who wins in a boxing match? You or Xiaoyan?
Netflix.
Yeah, come on, guys. Let's be real. But with that said,
well, you gotta be careful, man, because Jose's got dad strength now.
Yeah, I do. I have dad strength and dad energy now, so I love Xiaoyan to death, but that guy doesn't stand a chance. Putting that aside, I think with this game, man, I might stick with Atlanta. I don't know what it is. I think just you ride that hot hand. It's one game. It's a rivalry. I bet on them last round in bigger odds against the odds with Miami. I'm gonna do it again against Orlando. I'm taking Atlanta.
Dude, they LA, just like in the LA Seattle game, the Atlanta just freaking owns Orlando. So I'm gonna go with Atlanta. I think we see an Eastern Conference final at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, the agenda, W. I like it, bro. I like it. Who's next? Give me your prediction.
I'm going for Atlanta. I think pretty much all the players have something to prove because they have a new coach coming, or the current coach has a point to make to be the coach. So I think they're all are playing for something other than the cup. So, and they're riding the hype. So I go for it at my second home, but I'll say Atlanta just because of everything is hot off the press form at this moment.
Mo, you spoke like a true New Yorker. Florida's your second home.
Yeah, true statement. Every time we go over there, there's plenty of young. So yes,
I love it, bro. I love it. Hector, how are we thinking?
Man, I got 2 words for you.
Oh my God, I know it. Say it.
Championship DVD.
Dude, this is the craziest. I'm telling you, this is the one jersey bet you should have made.
No, okay. Y'all gotta stop trying to talk me into like. Look, I already talked to Edward. Edward's job now is to make sure he like holds me accountable for these stupid jersey bets because my bank account is not happy.
He's your sponsor.
Yeah, he's my sponsor. We'll see how that pans out. I picked Orlando to win the MLS Cup early in the season. You guys all made fun of me. And you know what? You got Davi over here thinking, oh, it'd be so convenient for NYCFC if Atlanta would. Well, you know what? It'd be so convenient for me.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! I like that, bro. I like that. Orlando could win, bro. I'm not saying they won't, but I just something a little magical about Atlanta United right now.
There's something magical about Orlando, Disney World. You know,
Disney World.
It's the happiest place on earth, and I think that like everything's clicking for them on the attack wise when Ladera's looking how he's supposed to look. Like Henrique, I didn't even think about that. Henrique, I didn't think about that guy. Facundo Torres, I mean, dude's a dog.
Enrique's been good. He's actually been good, like to close the season out and into playoffs. Like he's been a good forward for them.
So yeah, I think that this team is clicking on the right time. I think they're getting better on the defensive side a little bit going into it, but obviously, had to go to Pens to handle Charlotte. But I think that there's a confidence going on with Orlando, and I think they're clicking at the right time as well.
Fair. Honda?
Hotlanda is going to feel a little breeze down in Orlando, and they're going to shut out. It's going to be Orlando.
I was like,
I didn't know he was going to go with that one at first, and I was like, all right, fair enough. He's going to pick Atlanta just like we did, but no, all right, 2 for Orlando. Yeah, this could be all of these games, to be honest, should be bangers. I think the one that might feel like snooze fest of the week is maybe going to be LAFC in Seattle. I don't know why. I feel that way. But I just think that could be it. This game might actually be more exciting. I'm not sure. So we'll see, man. If Atlanta wins, it'll definitely be more exciting. If Guzan goes big again, shit, I don't know, man. It's gonna be crazy.
I think you're having too much hopes for Brad Guzan, dude.
Look, bro,
Shut up,
I'm not
Messi.
going
Come
as
on.
far as all the USMNT fan base has said and saying he should have been called up. That's fucking ludicrous. That is insane. But you can't ignore the fact that this dude just went ham. I mean, he basically channeled his inner Tim Howard from the Belgium game in that round of 16 World Cup match. That's basically what he did and kept the GOAT out of the net, at least for the most part. So I don't know, man. I mean, it's hard not to jump on that bandwagon at least a little bit. So
Anyone that goes against Suarez gets
Also,
credit
first of
from
all,
me.
I was the one that started the whole Hotlanta trend.
I'm not losing my credibility here. All right, I was the first one on the train. Yeah, I get it, bro. I get it.
I think that's karma for the hideous gritty that Suarez hit in the first game.
Bro, that was a fantastic gritty. Honestly, that was supreme gritty form. That's basically how I do the gritty. So, I'm completely okay with it. I'm totally fine with it. All right, man. 2 for Orlando, 3 for Atlanta. We'll see if Hotlanta can do it. And then finally, we got Honda's lads, man. LA Galaxy. 3 weeks, I think, since you guys have last played a game. So you've been chilling. Big chill. Might as well be on vacation. But you're back, right? Back at it against Minnesota United. Look, man, honestly, can we say this confidently right now? Are the LA Galaxy just probably the favorites to win MLS Cup as the betting odds stand right now?
They're the best team. They're the best team in the playoffs.
On paper, or do you think they're also playing the best right now?
Both.
Okay. That's fair. I mean,
some
LAFC being your team.
I'm definitely going to agree with that, but here's the thing. Some LAFC fans are going to say, oh, no, but MLS has us up top. Man, get out of here, bro. Like,
I mean, they were the first team.
Look,
You guys did bottle that. You guys bottled that a little bit.
If it wasn't for Daniel Steers, LA Galaxy would have.
Any reason to insert that? Yeah. It's crazy. Galaxy against Texas teams is wild. But anyway.
Here's the thing, though. I prefer us to not be like the favorites, even though on paper, from what we've seen.
There's no fighting it for this game. Like, you guys are 1,000% the favorites here. It would be a pretty big upset if Minnesota United took this.
Oh, yeah, that would be.
Maybe
besides the game, it would be the hugest upset in the playoffs.
I think so, man. I mean,
also, who was the guy that mentioned that Minnesota was going to beat? We're also like,
I think it was 2 of you. I believe it was 2. It was Hector and Honda. Yeah, I believe it was those 2. I mean, look, it's true. I thought Salt Lake would find a fucking way to do it, but they didn't.
Bro, they're neutered.
We're here now.
They're neutered. They ain't the dogs no more.
Damn, Chicho, man, what happened, bro? What happened? Anyway, honestly, bro, this is the hardest one for me to call. Like, I know we're saying LA Galaxy are the clear favorites. I don't know. This just smells like a trap game, man. Minnesota United had a crazy run of form to end the season. It was like 6 or 7 in a row without a loss. And a 3-week gap. The 3-week gap is fucking with me. It's like throwing me off. I don't know. There's not either of these teams are in form. It's been too long since their last competitive match.
Most definitely, it's a trap game for us as well too, because Minnesota, they got nothing to lose. They're already in like the best position besides one of the other seasons that they made it to this round as well too. And if they make it to the next round, right, which is the final for the Western Conference, hey, who knows, right? But LA Galaxy, how they've been playing, Ricky Puig, Gabriel Peck, Jovic, right? They're just gelling so well together. And as long as our defense is fine, like not conceding ridiculous goals, we should be fine in this game.
You should have enough firepower. In this game back in July, right? The same exact game in Carson. It took Gabriel Peck's late winner. Remember that? The 2-1? He had a brace that game. It took a big individual performance. And that's what I think will probably end up happening, right? Same reason that same logic I use for the Red Bulls. I just think that you have more individual X factor that in a game this big should get you over the line, whether it's Puig, Peck, Paintsel, anybody else. It should be one of those guys that kind of just steps up and is the big playmaker. So I'm probably gonna go with the Galaxy, but I can see like a 2-1. Like I can see it being close. I don't think it's gonna be like a clinical 2 or 3-0 win. I think it'll be close.
It's not gonna be an easy game for Galaxy.
So what do you think, Honda? So what's your prediction then?
I'm probably gonna go with the same 2-1 as well too. It's probably gonna be like a last minute banger, probably. To be honest with you, whether it's Ricky Puig, whether it's Gabriel Peck, right? But yeah, Minnesota United. Yeah, he definitely wants it.
All right, man. So we got 2 Galaxies. Who's got Minnesota, bro? Anybody cheeky pick here? No.
I'm gonna take Minnesota.
Oh, after Honda stuck up for you, Davi. That's crazy, bro. That's wild.
It's 'cause-
Hey, you know what?
Sorry,
Switch mine back to
Honda.
Red Bulls.
Sorry, Honda.
Switch mine back to
Sorry,
Red Bulls.
And
Switch mine back to Red Bulls. Oh man, Mo, how you feeling, bro?
Yeah, I'm not picking Minnesota. That's for sure. So,
Is that a rivalry? Is that a St. Louis rivalry?
now they kind of killed our playoff hope this season by winning at home. And I think there was also a little Twitter or X feud where I guess they got mad by one of our friends.
A little Midwest beef. I'm up for that.
Yes.
that.
And I think they kind of got added. I guess they got added to the whole SKC and St. Louis rivalry. I think
that rivalry between Kansas and Minnesota is so manufactured. Like, name a more manufactured rivalry than that. You can't.
St. Louis will probably say the more manufactured one is like Chicago and St. Louis. Although I will say, as sports towns, that's a little more relevant. But in MLS, I don't think so.
No, but in what sport are Kansas and Minnesota rivals?
I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Like
Exactly.
Battle of the middle of the country. I don't know, bro. I couldn't tell you.
No, you literally just proved my point. You just proved my point.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you, bro. I haven't heard of it, but who knows? I mean, maybe, like I said, for me, I'm all about it. Like, if you got to fabricate a rivalry to get up for this game, cool. Call it a rivalry. I don't care. I'm down.
I mean, you got to remember the Heineke rivalry week when they just had to, like, F it, you guys are rivals today.
yeah, 100%, bro. Just pick. Hey, you guys, I need you guys to hate each other for a whole week so we can sell some tickets. Yeah, I'm totally down for that.
Yeah, and call it the nicest rivalry in MLS. Can you?
Yeah, man, maybe. Okay, so we know Mo's taking LA, and I assume by what Hector said, that he's also taking LA.
I am.
Yeah. El Tráfico in the Western Conference Final incoming, it looks like. At least I hope so, bro. I would love that. And I would love for the comment section to be I expect the comment section to be extremely filled with LAFC fans based on the most recent ones. But anyway, man, let us know how you guys feel about this down below. I'm really curious to see how you guys have your picks coming through, your predictions for the MLS Conference semifinals. But that is it for everybody here at Wake Up MLS.
#championship DVD. Let's go.
If Orlando wins, we're never going to hear the fucking end of it, by Hector, by the way. That's all I'm going to say. With Hotlanta, I need Hotlanta to keep this shit going. And more importantly, I need people in Atlanta to start calling it Hotlanta. All right? AJ included. AJ, if you watch this shit, I need a Hotlanta. Yeah. We need one of those. We're either loved or hated based on that down in ATL. So we'll see. But yeah, that's it, guys. If you've done so already, do me a favor, like the video down below, subscribe to the channel for more MLS weekly content here on Goals TV. From everybody here at Wake Up MLS, my name is Jose. That's Mo. That's Davi. That's Hector. That's Honda. We'll catch you guys next time.